How exactly does holy water work? So the OP says, back in the early 80s, my mother met the Pope and he blessed this little antique glass bottle of water she had brought with her. This was her holy water. Over the years, the Pope's holy water began to dwindle, so my mother would use the water out of the faucets next to the door at the church to top it off. So what is up with holy water anyway? Is water blessed by the Pope extraordinarily deadly to vampires above and beyond your typical garden variety church holy water? Did her addition of general purpose bulk holy water diffuse the effectiveness of the Pope's super holy water? The holy water level in the bottle is extremely low now. There's only a few milliliters left. If I top it off with regular tap water, does this nullify the holiness? This bottle and the water within is so old that there is debris and particles floating around in it. How does holiness of holy water work, and how does its addition enhance or alter things? What's the deal?
Okay. There's this ancient Christian perspective that sees the material world as deeply caught up in spiritual forces, and so if we're going to make use of the material world in an important church ritual like baptism, we should pray over it. And so that water would be holy versus unholy and potentially damaging to you. That's not so much the worldview that many of us today, at least in the United States, hold. But there's something to this, we could call it like a sacramental view, a view that God uses the material world to do things in and for and with us. If water is part of that, like you said, in baptism, then we can affirm that God does something with the water. But from a Anabaptist or Mennonite perspective, the tendency has been to focus more on what God is doing to form God's people in all of our messy materiality, and not to say that like these particular elements like water or with the Lord's Supper, the bread or the wine, somehow shift in their like being. It's rather that God uses these ordinary materials to do things in and with and for us. It's actually important that we use these and that God uses these ordinary materials, because we are quite ordinary material, and God uses us and does things with us. We can be caught up in joining God's holiness, but that we tend not to focus on, again, like the status of the materials as holy or unholy or something like that, but rather focus on what God is doing with us with these ordinary materials.